Face centered. Stop recording video. Button.
Okay.
Swipe up or down to select a custom action. Then double tap to activate.
So, this is VI Life with Kelly, and I'm coming back at it with you with another video. This one is going to be on snacks, meal ideas, beverages, for you to incorporate into your lifestyle day to day, that will help you lose unwanted pounds.
One face centered. Bottom of screen.
Let me see.
Face centered. Stop recording video. Button. Face centered. Speech off.
Okay, here we go. So that will help you lose unwanted pounds. That will help you stabilize your weight. So you'll stop fluctuating on weight. Things that are still satisfying. Just better overall choices, low calorie, but definitely filling and satisfying. And it'll be for everyone. So if you're on a budget and you're cutting corners, or if you have the flexibility of mixing and matching, or you have an on-the-go lifestyle, this is what this video will incorporate, things for everybody on every level. So you probably either want to save this video as like a favorite or text it, share it with yourself so that you could easily get to this video, because you want to listen to this video like every single day, so that you will be in the mind state of choosing from one of these items until it's naturally a go-to for you. So if you want to make notes, because some of us are like auditory learners as well as we need to write things down and see them. So you may want to go ahead on and get out, a pen and a piece of paper or like a notebook and write these things down. So then you have like a physical, go-to as well as this video. And then otherwise you might want to text yourself some of these things so you can have like a quick go-to or pull up a note. Or you could make this a reminder. And so then you could have reminders throughout the day. So you could have like a breakfast reminder, a snack reminder that pops up 3 times a day. You could have a water reminder that pops up 5 times a day. And then you could have a reminder for lunch and a dinner reminder. And then you could have a reminder of no more eating. So you could have like a eating window reminder that lets you know, hey, in 30 minutes, we're done eating for today. So definitely do those things, guys. We have all this technology, utilize them, and it's really easy. As far as all I have to do is tell Siri. All I have to do is say like, hey Siri. I don't even have to say, hey Siri. I could just press the button and then say, create a reminder for this. And then I can say the time or what have you. See, you see how I just said that? Cancel. Yeah, I didn't even want to say that phrase because I knew one of my devices will pick up and be ready for me to say whatever I need. But bottom line is you can literally just talk what you want, whether it's creating a note, creating a reminder. You could set daily alarms, so you could have an alarm that goes off. So once you're done, your breakfast time frame should be, just to give a gap, breakfast should be like, I'm going to say you can start at 3 a.m., but I would prefer that you start at 4 a.m. So breakfast should go from like 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., okay? And then lunch should go from like 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., okay? And then dinner should go from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Now, you may have a situation where you had lunch at 2 p.m. and it was over at 3 p.m. Well, then dinner should be for you from 5 to 8 p.m. But it should never, dinner and eating should never go past 9 p.m. for anyone, male or female, or non-binary, or however you choose to express yourself. For human beings, dinner should not go past 9 p.m., right? Okay, cool. Now, breakfast should not start before 3 a.m. for sure. But ideally, you would like to keep breakfast between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. You would like to keep lunch between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. And then you would like to keep dinner between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Okay? So those are your goals. And then in between those dinner or meals, you have your snacks. And in between the meals, you'll be hydrating, right? So you should be eating your 3 to 5 pieces of fruit throughout the day. So when breakfast stops at 8, in between 9 and 10, you should have had a piece of fruit. 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., you should be having your first or second piece of fruit. Some people incorporate fruit with their breakfast, or they have smoothies. So that's great. But you do want to eat an actual piece of fruit, like 3 to 5 pieces of fruit that you're actually chewing, masticating, and you're actually swallowing and allowing your body to go through the digestion process of the fruit, right? So like between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., you should be having a piece of fruit. And then some people will have fruit with their lunch. So you might have had some fruit with breakfast. You might have had some fruit with lunch. And then, or if you're not choosing to do that, then your next piece of fruit should be between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m., right? Somewhere up in there, 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., you should be having another piece of fruit. So by the time that you've had dinner, you should have had 3 to 4 pieces of fruit by that point. And after dinner, your last piece of fruit could be actually your dessert. So not, the apple pie and all that ice cream and stuff like that. No, and peach cobbler. I'm actually talking about an apple or something. Could be, especially if you're desiring to lose weight. So if you're overweight or your goal is to lose weight, then you're not having soda, juices, or desserts. Your dessert is your fruit, your fresh fruit with the skin. So you're eating plums with the skin, nectarines, and peaches with the skin, apples with the skin. Everything that has skin, you're eating it. You're eating cherries with the skin, blackberries with the skin, blueberries with the skin. You're eating pears with the skin, right? So that is your dessert. And then we're not eating, things that have been sitting in packages, like these fruit cups and all this stuff like this. That's not your fruit. Your fruit is in the produce section or at the farmer's market. That is where your fruit is. It's not in cans on aisles, and it's not in packages and cups that's been soaking in syrups and juices for however long. Your fruit is actually in the produce department, or if you live in an environment where you could pick your fresh fruit off of trees or go to the farmer's market, that's where your fruit is. Okay, cool. Your beverages are going to be water and tea. You're going to find yourself enjoying tea more and more through this process. You should be drinking herbal, caffeine-free teas, and they should be like a mix if you like. You could have chamomile teas, you could have peppermint teas, you could have, all the detox. I like the yogi teas, the everyday detox. They have like all different types of detox teas. Those are really good. I like the celestial seasonings, herbal blends, and I'm telling you guys things that are easy to find. Like this is everywhere. It's at Target, it's at Walmart, it's on Amazon.com. Like you can find these teas and they're super affordable. They're not pricey. You could get a whole box for $2 to $3. And it's super helpful in staying on this new lifestyle change because it's really satisfying You can add your honey from the state that you live in, and you can add a little, I usually put like coconut milk in my tea, or a rice milk. Some of you all like almond milk. I really don't encourage putting a lot of nuts into your diet, especially if I don't know what your blood type is. Then I'm not going to encourage you to do almond. Never do soy, anything. But I would say coconut milk is a great alternative to dairy products, to your milks derived from cows. Now, some people have whole milk and some people do goat's milk, which is a great choice. So it just really depends. I would really have to talk to you more on an individual level in order to really recommend what milk would serve you best, because I need to know a little bit more about you. But in general, you could add a milk to your tea. It's really tasty, and it's really satisfying. It's really filling, and it really helps you when you feel like you want to eat something and you have that nice full cup of tea. It's just really filling, and it's just savory, and you will get through that. You'll get past those moments of wanting those cravings, and then next thing you know, it's the next day. All right, so your beverages are going to be room temperature water. The choices are alkaline, hydrogen, and distilled waters only. You're going to take your distilled water first thing at the top of your day. You're going to drink that while exercising, and you're going to need to do like 30 to 45 minutes of some type of cardio, whether that's walking on the elliptical, walking around the corner, walking your dogs, getting on the elliptical machine, your treadmill, whether that's doing some type of step aerobics or cardio exercise routine, in the middle of your living room, or watching a YouTube video, whatever it is, whether that's you doing, jumping jacks and jump rope, and like whatever your blend of quick cardio is, that will be what you do first thing in the morning and every single evening before showering. You'll do that, and you'll take your vitamins, your probiotics, whatever blend you take. And I do encourage that you're taking chewable multivitamins that are specific to your gender. So if you're a woman, then you need to take the women specific chewable vitamin, and if you're 50 plus, please take the 50 plus. Whatever pertains to you. If you have recently just had a baby, you need to continue taking your prenatal chewable vitamins. Do not skip on that ever, and continue taking them all the way for 2 years. That's how long it takes for your body to recover, heal, replenish, and restore. And if you're having a lot of issues with postpartum depression, you're real stagnant right now, you're having a hard time staying focused, you're all over the place, you're feeling overwhelmed, and you're not taking your prenatal vitamins, that's because you are extremely depleted. So please, please, please keep taking those prenatal vitamins all the way until your child is 2 years of age. If you are a mom who's like, wow, I didn't know I was supposed to do that, and I didn't do that, and your child is like 3 or 4 or 5, you can go ahead on and start taking those prenatals now. It's not a thing like, oh, well, it's too late. No, but I would take half. So like prenatal vitamins might say on there, take one, in the morning, one in the afternoon, when it comes to chewables, or it may tell you to take 2 to 4 at a given time. So if it tells you to take 4 a day, then take 2, and then add your women's chewable vitamin to your routine, and do that for the next 2 years. And then get off the prenatal, and then just continue on taking the women's chewable vitamin. So do not think, if you are a woman that's in that situation, or maybe your child is 6 months and you hadn't taken a prenatal for 6 months, just go ahead on and pick up your prenatals and take them for the next 2 years. Like I said, if your child's already 3, or maybe they just turned 2, or they're anywhere between 2 and 5, go on and pick up those prenatals and start back taking them. And like I said, take 50% of the recommended dosage, and then add your women's chewable to the routine and take those with distilled room temperature water. Your goal would be half a gallon a day. Then you're going to have your 3 bottles of alkaline water, and you will drink 1 liter after every meal. So if you've had breakfast at 8 a.m., you're going to eat your full meal. You will not drink anything while eating. That interrupts your digestion when you do that, and that's what causes you to have muffin tops, where you have that pouch above and below, the kangaroo pouch above and below the navel, and then you also have the back fat, the rolls, and you may also have the turkey neck going on. All of those little pockets of fat, or love cuddles, love handles, all these little cutesy names we have, they are derived because of improper digestion and because of the way that you're eating. If you're not sitting down at a table to eat, if you're eating on the go, eating in the car, standing up, eating in the kitchen, eating in the bed, all these different places, you're going to have issues with fat pockets, because your body is not able to adequately absorb the nutrients. They're not able to adequately distribute the nutrients. They're not able to digest, and they're not able to detox when you're in these awkward places and positions, eating, feeding. Okay, so definitely make it a point to find a place and to have an actual sit down and have your meal in front of you and eat all of your food. Take your time, chew up all your food. If you're a person who's swallowing down food while talking and scrolling the internet and texting and all this other stuff, then you're going to have an issue with weight gain, and you're going to have an issue with fat pockets. Okay, so actually chew your food up, take your time, finish your meal, and then drink your water after. You can do it, so don't even trip. Oh, I can't, my mouth gets too dry. Then you may want to have a warm beverage before you eat. So if you know, okay, you're getting ready to start cooking your breakfast, that will be a good time to have some warm water or have that warm tea, because that is how you want to start your day. You should be breaking your fast. When you wake up in the morning, you should be having your water, your vitamins, a warm tea. You can even have your apple cider vinegar tea, which I did a video about that. If you're interested, go ahead on and scroll down below to my videos, and you'll see that video, and it'll tell you how to make the apple cider vinegar tea. And this will help you have a good bowel movement, which you need to be having every single morning when you wake up, because that shows that your body has been able to properly cleanse throughout the night, and you're able to push out all those toxins from the night's rest. Okay, so then after that, you're going to be going into eating your breakfast, because now you've exercised, you've gotten that heart rate up. Okay, so you're eating your breakfast, you're having your fruit. When you finish eating, then you're going to start your first bottle of alkaline water, which needs to be at an 8.5 pH or greater. And then you're going to finish that entire liter of water over the next 3 hours. So before you're eating lunch, you should have finished that entire liter bottle of alkaline water, and you should have had another piece of fruit. Then once you finish your piece of fruit, which, so I think that I did a video, I don't remember, but I really feel like I've done videos where I've given you guys great examples of great breakfast choices. But just to give a quick idea, you can have a grain, which would be like and oatmeal, malto meal. Some people like cream of wheat. Some people do barley. Some people do grits. If you can find original grits, the purple grits, that would be great. But I would always encourage you to have a warm cereal for breakfast. If you're not going to do that, then I would encourage you to do like a granola. There used to be a cereal out called granola. And you could mix that with like raisins and fresh fruit like apples, cut up some apples and stuff like that. You could put banana in there. Raisin Bran Crunch is a really good cereal, but I will say this, I have to go down the cereal aisle and read the ingredients because majority, like 95% of the cereals on the cereal aisle are pure garbage. They're not food. They've altered everything genetically, GMO, modified everything. So I will have to go down the cereal aisle and really reconnect with a good cereal option. But I would say you could never go wrong with granola. If you have like at Whole Foods, you know how they have the whole station where you could go over there and make your own trail mix, and so everything's like in its own bin and you just grab your bag and put whatever you want. If you have a grocery store like that you could find granola, then I would just buy a bunch of granola, and then I would get like raisins, dried cranberries, dates, like different things like that. Get some bananas, and then you could just cut that all up, throw it in a bowl, and then use your coconut milk or your rice milk or your whole milk or your goat's milk if that's what you do. And then that's a great, breakfast right there. If you like toast, I would say go with the whole grain toast. They've got Dave's Killer Bread out here that's soy free, gluten free, like all things wonderful. And he has a raisin bread that's really nice, and you could add like an apple butter to that, which is really delicious. So you could have one slice of toast. Or he also offers those English muffins. Dave's Killer Bread, he has English muffins, so you could have an English muffin and you could put your vegetable based spread on there, so it's like equivalent to a butter. Or you could do Land O'Lakes butter is still a good option. You just do a thin layer of that on your freshly baked English muffin, and then you could add apple butter or fruit preserves like peach preserves, apricot preserves, strawberry preserves. They have every different fruit. As long as it says 100% fruit on the preserve, then you could have it. They have blackberry preserves, blueberry, like the list goes on, and you can only have one. Okay, so then you could have your fruit, you could have your cereal, you could have a slice of toast or an English muffin, you could have your hot cereal. Okay, if you are a person that's like, I've got to have eggs, like my breakfast is not right if I don't have eggs, you could boil your eggs. I always do the cage-free eggs. Sorry for moving this. Let me see.
Speech on. Face near left edge. Selfie zoom. Zoomed in. Button. Face near left edge. Face near left edge. Face near left edge. Centered.
Okay.
Face centered. One face centered. Speech off.
Sorry, guys. So you could also do like an egg. So if you guys wanted to boil your eggs, which I do cage-free, brown eggs, I will either do the vegetarian fed eggs that have like the omega-3 and all these different positive supplements that they post on the packaging, or I'll get the Simple Truth from Kroger, brown cage-free eggs. And so I'm trying to think, is there another one that I tend to go to, but I think that's it. Oh, Great Value. If you shop at Walmart, at the Walmart neighborhood store, I found brown cage-free eggs there as well. So those are the eggs that I buy because they're in their natural state. And if I'm going to have eggs, I really do not agree with eating eggs. I'm really confused as to why we as human beings choose to eat eggs. But if that is a protein that you're in agreement with, then you can boil your eggs, Or you could saute your eggs with onions, scallions, garlic. Super delicious. I use garlic salt and garlic pepper. If you do not like to use salt, you could use a garlic blend that has like garlic powder, celery. Sometimes it'll have minced onions in there, shallots, like different things. There's like a tons of options on the seasoning aisle. For persons who do not use salt, but they still want to have herbs and flavor with their eggs, and it only takes a few minutes. Now, when I prepare an egg,
Speech on. Selfie zoom. Stop recording video. Button. Face selfie zoom. Zoomed in. Face near left edge. Face near left edge. One face centered.
Okay.
Face center. Center of screen. Face centered. Speech off.
Now, when I prepare an egg, I use like very little olive oil, like a couple drops in the skillet, or I will use whatever butter that I'm using, which I used to use Smart Balance. I have to double check the ingredients to see if it's still soy free or not. But I would use Smart Balance, and I would just use like a teaspoon of Smart Balance, and then in a bowl I would mix my 2 eggs, and then I would always cut up onions and garlic and scallions. I used to put spinach in my eggs, but that's before I became aware that spinach is not a natural vegetable. So I'm on the fence about still continuing to eat spinach, and I don't eat broccoli anymore since I found out that's not a natural vegetable and it has an extremely high amount of estrogen. So I'm not in agreement with that. That's going to affect our hormonal levels when we're eating things that have abnormally high amounts of estrogen and testosterone. So, yeah, but I don't use the spinach in my eggs anymore. And I just use the garlic, onions, and scallions, and then I will use some garlic salt and garlic pepper. If I choose to put some cheese in my eggs, then I will use a little bit of mozzarella. And that's about it. So then once the butter has melted in the skillet, I will throw the eggs in there, and I do scrambled eggs every single time. And it takes, I don't know, 3 minutes or so on high heat to prepare the eggs, and then, bon appetit, have it with your slice of toast, which I always prefer to have with like the apple butter or the preserve. It's just delicious. And so if you are a person that says like, hey, I've got to have a sausage or a bacon, if you can find beef bacon, beef sausage, and it's actually 100% beef, you have to read your packaging, because sometimes it'll say it's a beef sausage, but it's cased. The casing is pork. So you have to read, or it'll be a blend. It'll say it's a beef bacon, but actually, if you continue to read, and the turkey as well, then it'll be a blend with pork. So definitely read those packages, and make the best decision you possibly can. I really do not encourage you to eat sausages and bacon. Like, I just don't find it to be valuable, and I don't find it to be a good source of nutrition. So if you are a person that is willing to eat beef, then I would say go for beef bacon and beef sausage. And make sure you just make the absolute best decision you can on where you get your beef bacon and where you get your sausage from, and read the packaging to find out exactly what's in it. Okay. All right. So those are choices for breakfast. Of course, berries are always a great decision first thing in the morning. So your blueberries, your blackberries, your raspberries, strawberries, those are great morning decisions. Cantaloupe is great. Mango is great, So if that's something that you're open to incorporating in your breakfast, go for it. If it the goal is to have things that are easy for you to do and continuously do. So if cutting up fruit is going to, be like an extra chore, don't do it, or do it the night before when you have extra time. And so that way you can just grab your fruit in the morning. Otherwise, just grab one piece of fruit and make sure your fruit is clean and go for it. Just grab the, pint of blueberries and take a handful and don't even think about it. I personally buy all my blackberries and blueberries from Target. They're pre-packaged in like half pint sizes for the blackberries. So I eat a whole package. I eat like 3 of them a day. So that's my fruit for the day. But I still will eat like half a pint, well, maybe like a third of a pint of blueberries on top of that. So I make it real easy for myself to meet my goals of fruit every single day. Publix, like I said, has so many options. The fruit is already cut up and they have all different sizes, from very small to, traditional small to medium, and then large, and then sharing platters, where you can share with the family. And it's so good. It's so fresh. It's so convenient. It's affordable. And so you can really meet your goal of 3 to 5 pieces of fruit every single day. You don't have to make an excuse. It can get done. And you can also help your family make better choices by having it available. And they'll come in the fridge and just grab a bag of fruit versus, chips and all this other crap that's going to cause high cholesterol in these babies. And giving them all this chicken nuggets and French fries, it's not nutrient rich food, and it's not good for them. And children are capable of having high cholesterol, and they do have high cholesterol when the bulk of their diet and nutrition is chicken nuggets, hot dogs, corn dogs, whatever comes in the local kids meal. These pizzas, pepperoni things, and French fries, and more French fries. Those are not nutrient dense or nutrient rich foods, and they cause our children to have taste buds and cravings that do not align with what's best for them. So then you have to retrain them and take away things from them that they really have been enjoying, because that's all they know, to now incorporating salads and fruits and vegetables. And they're like, what is all of this? And some people will think that their children are not capable of making those type of food selections, because they'll just look at it like that's adult food, or that's just too grown, when those are barriers that we're creating for them. Children are going to receive the food however you present it to them. So if you have an attitude like, this is just what we do, we eat healthy, good food, and this is all of us, it's not specific to adults or a race or a culture, this is just what is good for us, and this is what we eat, that's what they're going to do. They're going to gravitate and go for the fruit salad. They're going to go for the green leaf salad with all the vegetables and the black beans and the vinaigrette dressing. They're going to go for the soup and the tomato basil soup and the different chili, vegetarian chilies and vegan gumbo and whatever it is. They're going to pick those healthier proteins because that's what they know. That's what they've always done. That's what we do. We pick of the best, right? So definitely don't limit your child's ability to have a great, healthy appetite. They can do it. They will do it. And you just have to put them in the position. All right. So I've told you guys about that. So then for lunch, I always explain over and over again that lunch is the most important meal of the day as far as I'm concerned, and it is the time to have your heaviest meal of the day. So if you wanted a burger, even if it's a veggie burger, this is the time to have your burger. If you wanted to have, your lamb chops, like I said, your pasta, you wanted to have your multiple. Now I will say this, it's never a good time to mix your meats. So like steak and lobster and shrimp, all those scavenger choices. Number one, I don't encourage you to eat scavengers nor pork. Never. Like, that's not a choice. That's not nutrients. That's not food. Okay. Number two, if you're going to eat those things, pick one and then have a plate of vegetables and fruit. And that's all. So if you're going to have lobster, regardless of what I say, don't add shrimp and steak and mussels and oysters and crawfish and all that to the table, to the plate as well. It's very confusing to the body to process. You're putting in your body creatures that have DNA as well. See, this is the channel that breaks it down like that. So you can really understand what you're putting in your body. You're putting in your body living creatures that possess a DNA, a chemical blueprint that is specific to them as well. And when you put it in your body knows that this is not food, and it knows that this is a living organism that possesses its own chemical makeup. And this living organism has a bloodline, and it has its own bodily fluids and all of that. And your body knows that. Even though you, in your conscious mind, are not aware that you're eating another living creature that is not human food. It is not nutrient dense, rich. It's not a nutrient, right? So when you put multiple of them in your body, this causes your body to go through a shutdown, because it's trying to understand, why do we have so many different fluids, bloods, plasma, cell organisms, and it needs to process all of this. And a lot of people walk around in a daze and in confusion. They feel like they're in a cloud. They struggle with anxiety, depression, panic, inability, stagnance, procrastination. I could list on and on and on of prevalent conditions that people dwell within, and it is because directly linked to your nutrient deprived lifestyle. Okay, so anyhow, when you eat your meals, your lunch and your dinner, you should be picking one protein. If it's going to be a living creature, it was an animal, it lived, breathed, and had systems. It had a nervous system, a cardiovascular system. Like, all of these living creatures have systems. If the protein you're choosing is an animal, or in the poultry line, a fish, any of that, you need to choose one, and the rest of your plate needs to be vegetables and fruits. So you need to have a soup, you need to have a salad, you need to have, some green, red, yellow, orange vegetables on your plate. You can have beans. If you wanted to have an additional protein, you could have like black beans, navy beans, red beans. So those are things, bean sprouts. Those are additional proteins that you could have. As far as vegetables, you can have green beans, you could have sweet peas, green peas, you could have asparagus, squash, zucchini, Brussels sprouts, you could have cauliflower, things of that nature. If you wanted to have a potato, you could have red potatoes or sweet potato. Those are the only two potatoes I recommend. Everything else is garbage. And if you wanted to have pasta, I would say go for the multigrain pasta if they have it, or if they have vegetable pasta, that would be great. Otherwise, have whatever pasta you're gonna have, but it doesn't need to be like these seafood gumbos and these seafood pastas where it's like mussels and calamari and scallops and all this extra stuff mixed in with pasta noodles. That's not for you. Don't do it. Don't even waste your time doing that. And if you're gonna do it anyway, then you should follow that up with a detox tea for sure. You should definitely be drinking plenty of detox teas throughout your day. Drinking my apple cider vinegar tea should be second nature for you. You should be having it every morning, every night, if you're going to do these things anyway. Okay? So for pasta, make it a point to have it only during lunchtime. Your macaronis, your starches, only during lunch. So that means you're going to have the potato salad, the spaghetti, the baked ziti, the fettuccine, the linguine, the lasagna, whatever, all your starches, your macaroni and cheese, your pasta salad, all of that stuff like that, it needs to happen between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Now, I think I've given you great choices on good lunch ideas. You can never go wrong with your green leaf salad, which is going to have like your tomato and your cucumbers and your capers and your onions and your garlic and your black beans. That's a great salad. You can add pickles to that if you wanted to. And I like a little salt and a little pepper in my salad, and I like, a little vinaigrette. You can add your croutons, and if you're a person that likes, to have a little meat in your salad, you could have your smoked salmon or your smoked red snapper or your grilled red snapper or your cod. You could add bacos. I have to reread the ingredients, but the last time I checked, bacos were actually beans. So seasoned bean flavored. So you could throw that in your salad. What else am I thinking of? You could put olives in your salad, green or black. They have garlic stuffed olives that I really enjoy in your salad as well. And you can put carrots in your salad too. You could put different cabbages in your salad, like the red or the purple cabbage. So there's plenty of things that you can have for an avocado. Let's not forget the almighty avocado. So add all those things. It's really a rewarding, delicious salad. You can even throw fruit in your salad if you want. You could put mandarin oranges in there, watermelon, mango, cantaloupe, pineapple. Delicious. You could also have tacos. If you want to have tacos, the best time to have tacos is during lunch. And you could do fish tacos, which are absolutely delicious with the grilled fajitas, the onions, and the bell peppers. And you could do red, yellow, green, and orange bell peppers. Saute those with onions and scallions and garlic. And you could toss jalapeno in there and a little habanero pepper and a little bit of diced tomatoes. And you could toss your fish in there, which I bake my fish before I toss it in with my grilled vegetables. And it just allows for the fish to absorb the flavor of the onions and everything, and it's really delicious. So, you could have your tacos at lunch, and then you could have your Spanish rice, or your Mexican rice. There's a Spanish rice that I love that has these white bean in it, and I just add like diced tomatoes and green chilies to that. Super delicious meal for lunch. Of course, you could have your veggie burger. You could have a flatbread with your veggie burger, or if you're going to have, a turkey burger or salmon burger, or your traditional beef burger or your steak burger. Just load it up with vegetables. Leave the condiments alone, though. I don't advocate for mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, any of that type of stuff. I'm not, gonna say do it. I'm gonna say don't do it. You could add avocado instead. You could use a salad dressing like a vinaigrette, and then even with that, just a very little bit, like a thin layer. And that's plenty. I do like toasting my bun if I'm having a burger, so I could put like a thin layer of whatever butter that I'm using, and I toast it in a skillet. So I actually, lay the bun on the skillet so it has that kind of like crunchy lining on the bun. of my burger. So that's super delicious. Those are things to have. You can have sweet potato french fries if you still really want fries. And I bake the fries, and air frying is really, popular, and it's a great alternative to traditional frying. So that's an option. If you want to bake your fries, you still need to have them cut up, and you just season your olive oil and coat your potatoes, and then put them in a sealed, like aluminum foil sealed pan, and bake them for about 45 minutes. You could do pan potato. I call them sauteed potatoes or breakfast potatoes. Then there's like a green bean and potato mix that you could do in a stock pan. Super delicious as well, and flavorful and satisfying. So, I mean, there's tons of things that you can have for lunch that will be satisfying. You will not be hungry, and you can stay in line with your goal, okay? After you eat your lunch, then you're on your 2nd liter of alkaline water. By the time you're having dinner, you've finished your 2nd liter of water, and you've finished your next piece of fruit. Dinner should always look like soup, salad. If you're going to have a protein, which would be a living creature, I would go for a fish for dinner 9 times out of 10. So this is the time to have perch, cod, red snapper, trout. If some people do bass, some people do grouper still, pollock. Some people will do the Alaskan salmon, right? Everything wild caught in Alaskan or Pacific Ocean. This is the time to have your fish. Or you could have your just having vegetables, where you could have like a lentil chili, or 3-bean vegetables chili, or stew, or soup. This is the time where you could have just all vegetables for dinner, and it's extremely rewarding. You could have your meatless. Sometimes I make a meatless steak with vegan gravy and rice. That's a great option. I will have the brown rice or the jasmine rice. It just depends, with the vegan gravy that I make. And then I'll use a plant-based patty as my steak substitute. But when I have that, I do eat that earlier in the day. So that's when I would have an early dinner, like 4 p.m., no later than 6 p.m. So, tons of ideas when it comes to enjoying yourself. I make a vegan cornbread dressing that is to die for. It is so good. I do make baked homemade macaroni and cheese, and I only use cheddar actually when I make this homemade macaroni and cheese. And so I use a sharp cheddar and a mild cheddar for that, and then I use a butter substitute, so it's not a dairy butter that I use. And I use rice milk when I make that macaroni and cheese. And then I also use the whole grain pasta noodles, or I'll use the vegetable-based noodles. It just depends on what's available. But we can definitely do, a video on recipes and things of that nature. But so there's definitely tons of choices for you to stay on track. Now, some of y'all can say, hey, that sounds great. I don't have time for that. I'm actually on the go. I don't cook. I don't have a family. That's a lot of food, and I'll be wasting a lot of those things. This is not practical for me. For those of you all who are like on a strict budget, and you're just like, I'm out in these streets and I don't have time for that. You can do things like go to Tropical Smoothie Cafe, go to Raw Juice Bar, and pick up your smoothies. Even Smoothie King has some good vegan options right now for you to pick up a smoothie and stay within your guideline. Of course, Jason's Deli is an option. They have tons of vegetarian and vegan options for persons who are not interested in eating fried foods, fast foods. You know, you want to have something more fresh. Salada is really big and trendy right now.
Speech on. Selfie zoom. Stop recording video. Button. Face centered.
Okay.
Speech off.
Salada is really big and trendy right now. Maggiano's is a great choice. They have great salads. They have tons of fresh fish options. And they grill their fish. So they have like lemon and herb salmon, and they have like a lot of great choices on vegetables if you just want to go sit down and eat something really quickly. They have places here that offer like gluten-free pasta, like Pubello here is a great place if you wanted to have pizza and you wanted to have meatless pizza but still satisfying. I go there and have a slice with sun-dried tomato, garlic, and green peppers. I actually been ordering that for years. It's my absolute favorite, and it's one slice and you're done. They have spaghetti pomodoro that has absolutely no meat. Super delicious. I really enjoy that. You could get a half order or a full order. You have places all over here that offer alternatives when it comes to burgers, where you could get a salmon burger, you could get a turkey burger, you can get Angus burgers here in the Buckhead area. You could go to a Nordstrom cafe where they offer your Caesar salads with your Niçoise salmon, which is an herb salmon, and you could have it well done. And then you could add avocado and fresh cracked pepper. And their Caesar salad dressing is fresh that they make themselves. And then they have like your tomato soup there. They have fresh, all their pizzas they make fresh. They have a margarita pizza that is absolutely delicious. It has the fresh olive oil and the basil, the different herbs and the tomatoes, and just melts in your mouth. And they make it fresh for you. So there's places like Alon's Bakery that you could go to. There's Kale Me Crazy. That's another big place here where you can go and you can have your smoothies, and they do the matcha powder. They do several different types of proteins, and they have flaxseed and just a plethora. Like you could just look through the menu and just get what you want. And then they have all different types of grab and go options for like wraps and salads and just mixed fruits. And so Slutty Vegan here is a really, really big deal. I never recommend them just because the line is super long. So unless you have a day where you're just like carefree and you don't, you're not in a hurry, you don't have anywhere to be, then you could check them out because they have a plethora of options. People seem to really enjoy vegan burger options there. I'm not sure. I could not tell you guys for sure if she's soy free.
Close button. Low power mode button. Close button.
Sorry about that. My battery.
Camera face centered. Stop recording video button. Face centered. Speech off.
Okay. I could not tell you if she's soy free, mushroom free. I wouldn't know. I've never been. But I would say that that's an option worth exploring. There's a place here in Buckhead called Copper Cove that's super good. They have a ton of vegan options at this restaurant, down to the desserts. They have flourless cake. They have dairy-free dessert options. They have red snapper on their menu. They have tons of grilled vegetables. It's really good. And so that's an option. If you are in a situation you're like, look, McDonald's I go to McDonald's all the time. Burger King all the time, and you know, I have coupons for these types of places, and I can just get in there really quickly. What can I get out of McDonald's and a Burger King? I'm going to say you can get a salad out of there. McDonald's has oatmeal. They have that oatmeal that has the raisins and the apples and everything like that, that you could get from them. They have a parfait that you can get that has granola and actual fresh fruit, that you could get, and it has yogurt. And that's about it. They were using the Paul Newman salad dressing at one point for their salads, and they had a vinaigrette that I was enjoying. It was like a side salad that had like cherry tomatoes, green leaf lettuce, and a few things, maybe like some cucumber, I don't remember. And they had that Paul Newman's vinaigrette dressing that was really good. So those are the things that I would say you could get from McDonald's. Now, debatably, the fish sandwich is supposed to be cod or a mix of cod and pollock. I would say if you gotta just get something like in addition to the things I've said, get the fish sandwich, but no tartar and no cheese. The tartar and the cheese, that is not an actual food item. That's like some chemical combination. And I would say add the chopped onions, tomatoes, pickles, and they have leaf lettuce that's really green and really good. I would say add that to that sandwich, and no condiments. If anything, ask for one of those vinaigrette dressings and just put a very little bit, like a lightly coated amount on one side of the bread. If you just had to have some type of sauce, and that's what I would go with if I were you. If you're a person that says McDonald's is in your budget, you go there all the time, it's by your job, it's on your commute, blah blah blah, and this is the life, this is your reality right now, then those are the things that you would be eating from McDonald's. The side salad, the parfait, and the fish sandwich without the tartar, without the cheese. Add the chopped onions, tomatoes, pickles, and the leaf lettuce. And if you need a dressing, then pick a vinaigrette and only use a small amount for your sandwich. It'd be like a thin little layer. That would be your meal all the time. If you went to Burger King and you asked me the same question, they used to have a salad. I don't know if they have it anymore, but they used to have a really good salad. I think they would promote it with like chicken, but I would get it without the chicken. And it was like a mix of green leaf lettuce, maybe romaine. It had cherry tomatoes, onions. It also came with a choice of a vinaigrette as well. They do have a fish sandwich. That's supposed to be another cod and pollock blend. It's a BK fish sandwich. I would go for that. No tartar, and I wouldn't get their lettuce because they only have the iceberg lettuce, which has no nutritional value whatsoever. So I would get the sandwich, but they do have a multi-grain bun, or at least they used to, so double check. And they also have the Beyond Meat burger there. I would go for that. But no mayonnaise, no ketchup, no mustard. So if you're gonna go for, sorry guys, if you're going to be leaning towards what the heck, let me see what's going on.
Speech on. Stop recording video. Button. Face near left edge. Centered.
Okay.
Speech off.
If you're going to be going for your Burger King, then the Beyond Meat burger and the BK fish, with the multigrain bun is going to be a choice. Like if that's all you've got, you're traveling, whatever, you're over the road, and these are common places that you come across, and this is what you want to do, then just make sure to add the onions, the tomatoes, the pickles, if they have a green leaf lettuce, throw that on there, and then pick like the vinaigrette if you need a sauce for your sandwich. Still get the water and drink your whole bottle of water after you eat your meal. No fries, no onion rings, none of that. You're gonna have a salad with the sandwich. And I don't know, I would imagine Burger King has some type of fresh fruit because I know they have kids meal. So I'm very sure, being competitive, they're going to have some type of fruit option. So I would ask, like, do you guys have a parfait, or do y'all have some type of fruit that you give the kids? And you can probably just get the fruit from them. They might charge you 50 cents or something like that. Otherwise, I would just stop by the grocery store and pick up a bag of fruit and just have your own fruit, if you know that's what you're going to do. So what's it called? Subway has a lot of different choices now. I understand they have a breakfast sandwich that uses the Beyond Meat, which is the plant-based pea protein. I guess they have their own sausage and their own what's it called? Sausage, and their own like meat crumbles and like meatballs and stuff like that, in addition to their burger patty. So if you wanted to go to Subway and you're like, I need a breakfast sandwich, I would say explore that option, because you could still, add all your vegetables to that, and they have different breads, like wraps you could choose from. So check that out if that's in your budget, if that's your lane. Publix is a great resource if you have time. They have soup. They have a soup station that is pretty good, where they have different chilies and different types of soups. And then they have it's similar to like a Subway counter where you can pick different wrap options and you can get your sandwiches to go. That they make for you. So that's an option, along with the fresh fruit that you can grab and the salads that you can grab. And they have so many choices and combinations on the salads and the fruits. So that's a quick walk in there and grab it and go. Trying to think. Oh, another place you could go if you're just on the go and you need some choices are the farmers baskets in the food courts at the mall. So if you are close to Perimeter Mall or Lenox Mall, you can go in there. All of their food is pork free, and you could get a protein and 2 vegetables, and it's between like $8 and $14 depending on what protein you choose. But they have zucchini and squash and sauteed green beans and cabbage. They have greens, they have red potatoes, they have sweet potatoes, they have they have Alaskan salmon. If you eat chicken, they have rotisserie chicken, they have baked chicken, they have several choices on chicken. If you eat turkey, they have roasted turkey. I've never asked about lamb. I do know they have a steak. I'm really picky about where I eat beef, so I have never ate their beef. I don't know about that. But they do have that. They do have some scavenger options if you're interested in that. They do have like shrimp and things like that. So I don't eat chicken, I don't eat turkey, stuff like that. So I don't have any feedback on that. I do eat Alaskan salmon, and it has been really good and consistent, and it's grilled. So I've enjoyed that, and I've enjoyed their vegetables. The sauteed green beans are delicious. The red potatoes are delicious. The cabbage is great. So I haven't, stretched myself beyond that really. I usually just get a lot of green vegetables. And if I'm in the mood for a potato, then I'll have that when I eat over there. So those are good options. Chipotle is a reasonable option. Now, the reason why I'll say Chipotle is a reasonable option is because I will eat their guacamole and I will eat their bowl, and I'll put the black beans. So I do white rice and brown rice together. So if I go over there to have a bowl, I'll tell them I want white and brown rice. I want black beans. I want onions and bell peppers. I want mild pico and guacamole. That's my bowl. And it's absolutely delicious. It's very filling. I can only eat half of it at one time. And that's what I eat at Chipotle. It's a quick option. It's high in protein and it gives me a lot of energy. It's very satisfying. It's high in folic acid. It's high in a lot of things, and it's guilt-free eating. And so that's, a place that I will go to, and, that's a good option. I'm trying to think of the places that are over here that I pass by all the time. Chick-fil-A has a lot of great salads, guys. Let's not pass over Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has tons of great salad options. They had this lemon kale Caesar salad, super delicious. I don't know if they still have it. I think somebody was telling me about a summer salad they have now. So I probably will stop by there today or tomorrow and see what salads they have still presently. I am a huge fan of their Cobb salad, but I do not so when I order their Cobb salad, I don't get the chicken, the eggs, or the bacon, or the cheese. So I get their Cobb salad, no chicken, no cheese, no bacon. I think that's it, right? No chicken, no cheese, no bacon. And then I get them to make it with everything else, and they have these roasted red peppers that are like bacon bits, like the consistency of a bacon bit, but they taste so good. Nothing like bacon at all. They're just amazing. And I get the apple cider vinaigrette. So I absolutely love that salad. It's so, so, so good. I did love Chick-fil-A growing up when I used to be at the mall. I absolutely was in love with their nuggets. They have amazing flavor. I absolutely love them. But I'm concerned. I am. Like, the amount of food and the amount of traffic that they have every single day, it's just like, how is it possible to have that much chicken available across the United States or the world without utilizing the benefits of hormonal injections to cause these chickens to produce at a much rapid rate and then be larger than they normally would be. And I was eating their salads with the chicken for quite a while, and I started gaining a lot of weight and jumping up breast cup sizes. So when I stopped eating their salads with the chicken, I lost weight. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So you may want to consider, instead of that breast augmentation, just eating Chick-fil-A chicken regularly. Anyway, I'm kidding, but I'm not, okay? Because when I tell you, it was insane, the amount of bras I was purchasing, and I was only eating these salads. So that's something to consider. But yeah, so Chick-fil-A has great salads. Let me think where else you guys could just be running in and out of to get. Now there's a place, I was trying to think. Now Starbucks has quite a few different wrap options. They have that spinach and egg white. I'm not down for eggs and I'm not down for spinach really, guys, but if you're out and about and you are, that would be a better choice than most. I don't.
Speech on. Stop recording video. Selfie zoom. Face centered. Speech off.
Really like living in the sphere of making the best choice out of filth, right? For me, it's like, why are we ravaging through the dumpster trying to find the best option we can? Why don't we just get out the dumpster and go on over to the garden and pick that best option out of what we can afford in the garden, So that's the biggest thing that I have the problem with, is like when I'm telling people these are the best choices and actually these are your only choices, but they're still wanting to gravitate back towards the less. So I have to constantly have this conversation like, well, if you're going to do these things anyway, this is the best decision out of that. But see, when I say stuff like that, it makes you feel better about making a decision. It's like giving you the choice like this, and this is just going to be gross, but it is what it is. It's like, I just, you love chocolate, okay? And, I have this dark chocolate, piece of candy, and I roll it in a bowel movement. One of them I roll in a bowel movement, and then the other piece I roll in diarrhea. And then another piece I roll in vomit. And then I'm telling you, and then I have the other pieces over here to the left, the fresh pieces over here to the left. And so I'm like, okay, out of everything that's here, the best choice would be these things here on the left. And you're like, well, I hear what you're saying and everything like that. But if I were to pick from the right, which one is the best, like, of the right? And so it's like, well, this one's covered in a bowel movement, this one's covered in diarrhea, and this one's covered in vomit. So none of these are a good decision ever. But if you're going to do this anyway, which...
Speech on. Stop recording video. Selfie zoom. Zoomed in. Up. Speech off.
After I say this, guys, I'm going to cut this video off because it's already told me that I'm at a low battery. And I've noticed it's like a 50-50 chance if the phone powers off before I've stopped recording, once it powers back up, if I've actually retained this footage or if it's gone bye-bye. And that's a nightmare because this is a super long video. Anyway, so now back to this last point. So now I'm like, well, none of these choices are a choice, period. Like, this is not something to choose from ever. And then you still make me have to answer this question like, okay, well, out of these three options, which would be the best choice? And then I'm up here like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, regardless of what I'm saying, then you probably want to go head on and just go with the one that's covered in vomit. That makes you feel like it's okay to do this when it's not. All of it's detrimental, and it's not a choice. It's filth. And it's not, you walk away from there and come over here to what is a choice and find what you can fit. You might can't have all of, A, B, or C. You might can only afford 1/4 of A. Well, let's start there. Let's get 1/4 of A and find a way to get you more over here than to be settling and operating in filth over here and then thinking because I picked out of filth the best choice, that's a real option, and it's not. And I pray you guys understand what I'm saying, but we'll talk more in the next video. Happy Friday.
Speech on. Stop recording video.